Landscape, which is my industry, typically people sell their businesses, complete businesses, brand and everything, for 6 to 12 months revenue. If they're selling just the accounts, and those accounts are like contracted and such, maybe they're getting 3 to 6 months revenue. But if you've got a really baller brand and like some really great team in place and some good strategic operating procedures, SOPs as I call them, and I always link to my website with SOPs, so the new site will have that stuff. But if you've got that stuff in place, sometimes you can get all the way up to 6 or 12 months revenue. So not profit, so the business is making 20 or 30% profit. You might actually end up getting a few years of profits right then. And that is why I'm a huge fan of building and selling businesses. I think it's like the best thing you can do, because you get a fat check, you've got some skills, and you're totally free, right? So you're able to get out of the business and you've got like your cash in hand, you've kind of got some experience behind you, and you can kind of move into your next move. The way that you go about selling off your business, when you've got everything together, all streamlined, and it's kind of packaged, and that's what you have to do when you've got a business. You've got to package it all together. So when you sit down with someone, ideally you've got a good notebook, spreadsheets, all that stuff should be backed up on a computer as well, but you want to have it in person. And so that way, when you've got that and you've got a potential buyer, you can show them the business at a coffee, at a coffee meeting, right? Meeting over coffee. The way I've done it before, especially with my businesses, have all been under 80 grand. The last business I sold was for 80 grand. Last 2 businesses I sold were for 80 grand each. And both of them I owner financed, which is something I'm going to address in about a minute. So when you build up that thing, you can put it on Craigslist. You can use a business broker. Typically, business brokers charge you like 10%. You can just put it up, like if it's a small thing, if you can just drop it up, like around town, like in service businesses. And they're very easy to build a service business. But if you built one, sometimes you go to trade stores. Like, so if you're in lawn and landscape, maybe you go to the lawn supply store and you put up your flyers and you've got your business for sale and a price and how much the revenue is. That is potentially interested in your business, there are typically three ways in which to get paid for your business. The first way is cash. That's a cash buyer that just shows up, writes you a check, and takes over your business. And that is ideal. Sometimes if the business is really small, you're going to find a cash buyer, right? If you're selling something for under 50 grand, you're probably going to find a cash buyer. You're selling something from 50 to 100 grand, not a lot of people have 50 to 100 grand, and not a lot of banks want to finance a business for 50 to 100 grand. It's too small. If you're selling a business for over $1 million, that's a different game, because now those people can typically, if that business is that large, has that many assets, they can typically go to a bank or an investment banker or someone like that and get cash somewhere else. If it's under 50 grand, most of the time people will take money out of their home, so they'll kick money out of their equity, or maybe they'll have that laying around. You don't know. Sometimes guys I've sold businesses to actually moved down from up north down to here, had sold their businesses up there, and we they had sold their businesses up there, had cash from that, came down here and gave me that cash, right? But in the $80,000 range, I found I normally did 50% down. So I would have $40,000 in cash, and then I would finance it to them on $2 grand a month, $3 grand a month, whatever the business could kind of comfortably support. And then they'd pay that for X amount of months until they paid that thing off. Yeah, dude, you definitely need to consider selling off your business, because at some point in time, you've kind of maxed out where you can go with it, right?